Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Sports Scoop. I am Suraj, and today I'm going to be doing my NFL top 10 power rankings. So before we get into the video, as always, I'm just going to go through this quickly. If you enjoy this type of NFL content almost daily, make sure to like and subscribe. We have three other hosts, not just me, Kian, Charlie, and Dylan, and they will all be posting videos. And without the way, let's get into this video. So starting off with number 10, I have the Carolina Panthers, and Carolina really are the only team I feel like on this list that I feel like aren't really contenders this season. They're a very good team, but I feel like they aren't contenders. And the reason why they make this top 10 list is I feel like they have been very good this year. They played very well. And just because they had one disappointing performance against Dallas doesn't mean that they get kicked out after three really good weeks of performing, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They boast the third best scoring defense in the league. This team will get significantly better when Christian McCaffrey will return, when the offense is already doing well with Dan Darnold and DJ Moore. And I think this team is well placed to be a team that can make a run into the playoffs. I don't know how far they can get, given that the NFC is very good this year, but I really like this team. I think they deserve a spot on the top 10 list. Going on to number 9, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, a very disappointing start for them. They have the 31st best scoring defense in the National Football League. They have struggled there. They haven't been good enough on that side of the ball. Offensively, they have been solid, but what's really plagued them is costly turnovers at really bad times. Mahomes has turned the ball over more this season, really, to start off than he has in any other season. They're still the two-time defending AFC champions, so I still feel like they definitely have to be on this list. And it was a good win against Philadelphia, where again they flex their offensive muscles, but they really have to figure it out defensively, especially going against a very formidable Buffalo offense. And now we have number 8. We have the Green Bay Packers. They did win 27-17 against the Pittsburgh Steelers this week. It was kind of an average performance from Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers did not play very well, but it was a good performance from AJ Dillon. He had 15 rushes for 81 yards. And they kind of rode that defense to a comfortable 27-17 victory. Obviously, the Steelers did not play well. Big Ben was kind of rattled in the pocket and just kind of struggled to make his throws. Green Bay didn't play their best performance, but they've been very, very good ever since that 38-3 thrashing by the New Orleans Saints. So I've been impressed with Green Bay. I think they will probably have to step it up a bit more to become the contenders in the NFC, but I think they played so far so good. Now we have the number 7 team. We have the Cleveland Browns. And Cleveland, they're in an interesting position. They won last week 47. And I feel like with Cleveland, they should be kind of thrilled, obviously, but also slightly worried after the win against Minnesota. Because on one hand, that young defense that Cleveland has been talking about, how they can like really progress into a top 10 defense, they have dominated early. They're molding into one of the best units in the National Football League. They've suffocated a pair of NFC North offenses, the Bears the previous week with the historic performance, and now Minnesota, one of the better offenses, one of the more underrated offenses in the National Football League. The pass rush has been great. Myles Garrett has dominated offensive lines. The secondary has been good as well with Greg Newsome and Denzel Ward. However, the problem is the offense has seemed to almost regress ever since the very good performance against the Kansas City Chiefs. Baker Mayfield this week posted his worst week of the season. Was 15 for 33 for just 155 yards. Some are saying maybe that's because Odell Beckham Jr. is in the lineup. Maybe that's kind of getting the team out of sync. But Baker did have a couple of throws to Odell that he probably should have made. So I think this win, even though they won, this performance should be mainly on Baker. But I expect Cleveland to improve. They have too much talent to not improve and become a legitimate Super Bowl contender. If Chubb, Baker, OBJ, if they can all figure it out, I think Cleveland should be fine. And with the way the defense is playing, they're very well set out at the moment. Now we have the number 16. We have the Los Angeles Chargers. And the Chargers, in my opinion, they appear to be one of the most balanced teams in the NFL. They boast, I think now it's almost undoubtable, a top 10 quarterback in the National Football League, a strong receiving corps led by Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. And now they have one of the better defenses in the league. And I feel like the Chargers as a whole, but also especially on defense, have really had like the pieces, like the names to kind of make this team make the defense better than it actually is, but they haven't been able to put it together. And this year, under first-year head coach, Brendan Staley, they have been able to do that. They're playing very well on both sides of the ball especially after a very good win against the Raiders offense that was playing pretty well themselves. Again, Herbert played great. Austin Eckler has been playing very well throughout the season. They really missed him. And I feel like when you look at this Chargers, they have made a few moves, obviously, and they have become a better team throughout the offseason. But I feel like the biggest change is kind of with the coaching staff, with Brandon Staley, because not only have we seen the emergence of an improved Chargers defense, we're also seeing like a culture change, a shift in mentality. The Chargers seem to be more confident, more ready to win. And I think this team is right now the best team in the AFC West, and I think they will be able to push Kansas City to the brink if they keep playing like this. So I really like how the Chargers playing, and that's why they are number six currently on my list. Now going into the top five, number five, we have the Dallas Cowboys, and I've been very impressed with Dallas start of the season. I think they should be definitely considered as one of the favorites for the NFC. With the hiring of Mike McCarthy, I felt like Dallas is one of those teams that could really boom or bust, considering he's such a wild card at coaching. But over the first 4 weeks, not only have we seen Dak Prescott kind of return to MVP form like last year with the elite weapons at his disposal, we've kind of seen like prime Zeke Elliott starts to reemerge. He's getting better every week. And not only him, the two-headed monster of him and Tony Pollard, who, as you see in the important stats, has 6.8 yards per carry, which is extremely impressive. The defense, which was one of the weakest units in the NFL last season, has emerged as a takeaway machine led by Trayvon Diggs, breakout second-year cornerback. And last year, I feel like last year was easy to like say, oh, Dallas won't have a chance to make the playoffs because they have too bad of a defense, or there's always so many variables and like all this and that. But this year they seem like to have one of the most complete teams they've had in a long time. And maybe this year could finally be Dallas's year, because I feel like there's one of the best chances, even with a very good NFC. Now we have the number 4 team. I have the Los Angeles Rams, and they honestly came back crashing down to earth after a very hot start. Their defense kind of buckled against the Arizona Cardinals, had a great game, and Matt Stafford kind of had his first off game trying to find Cooper Kupp. Obviously, they both didn't have amazing performances. That being said, I'm not going to let one loss have the Rams fall too far. I feel like this is kind of only a blip in the Rams schedule. They're still a very good team. Remember, just last week, they did beat the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they still are a team that's kind of built for the postseason, really good offense, decent running game, good defense. I think they've done enough still to be in a top 4 position, but that loss obviously was a humbling. And I think like they needed that. All the great teams need that. And it's gonna hurt them right now, but I think in the future they should be okay. And now we have the number 3 team. We have the Buffalo Bills. And the Buffalo Bills so far, they have looked like easily the scariest team in the AFC. In today's NFL, one shutout for a team is very impressive. 2 shutouts is basically unheard of, especially in just 4 games. And the Bills who start off very slow on the offensive side of the ball have really started to round into form there too. Josh Allen tossing another 2 touchdown passes in a rout of the Houston Texans. And a lot of people I see also have the Bills as high as number 1, but the reason why I do not have that is because, one, they lost to a very disappointing Steelers team that have Potato Ben as their quarterback, and 2, while all these on this 3-game winning streak, they have played amazing. These wins have come against the Miami Dolphins, the Washington football team, and the Houston Texans. All 3 teams are just not very good. And again, this isn't to take away anything from Buffalo. I still think they have been the best team in the AFC. I just feel like right now I can't put them high as number 3, considering the other 2 teams I feel like deserve to be higher. The Chiefs will be their biggest test of the season so far, and I could easily see them moving up even higher if they can win this, especially at Arrowhead. And now we have the number 2 team in the NFL, the hottest team in the league, the high-flying Arizona Cardinals. They are led by the MVP front-runner, undoubtedly now, Kyler Murray, and they have the leading offense in the NFL in terms of points scored and yards per game a quarter into the season. They have the skill positions they have the skill position talent to keep this offense kind of going into a tougher stretch of games, starting as shown by the Rams beatdown. Amidst all this offensive firepower, though, one of the kind of things that have gone under the radar is the performance of the Cardinals defense, which has also played very well. Chandler Jones has done great in pass rush. The linebacking core has been solid, and the cornerbacks, Marco Wilson has had a solid rookie year. And of course, Byron Murphy has had a brilliant start, kind of had a great game against Cooper Kupp, kind of shadowing him, and has 2 interceptions to start this year. I mean, it's not like no one saw this coming because the Cardinals did have a good offense. People, off season, people did say that, watch out for the team. They could be very good in the near future, even this year. But the last undefeated team in the NFL, that is very, very impressive. And right now, they're not only gunning for a playoff spot, which they missed last year, they're gunning for the number one seed. And the way they're playing, I think they have a pretty good chance. That being said, they are not the number one team in the NFL, and I feel like that one is not exactly obvious, but I feel like to me, even as good as the Cardinals played, the best team in the NFL still is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that being said, they have not been the most impressive team in the NFL, not even close. They barely beat the Cowboys by 2. They did dominate the Falcons. They got crushed by the Rams, and they barely beat the Patriots that didn't have a great start as well. That being said, in my opinion, they are the best team in the NFL because they just have the most talent across the board. I think the one weakness of the team is cornerback. They lost their top 3 starters, Carlton Davis, Sean Murphy, Bunting, and Jamel Dean. And they still, though, have Richard Sherman to man the secondary. That's showing really kind of the depth they have. They also have Pierre Desir as the cornerback number 2. And once those guys all get back, it will be mayhem. Brady is putting up another very, very strong season with his 4 favorite weapons, Evans, Godwin, Brown, and Rob Gronkowski, four former All-Pros, and they're playing like it. I think this team is just too talented in the NFC. I think there are a lot of good teams in the NFL that I think could possibly dethrone them. But overall, across the board, they are the best team in the NFL. They have a great pass rush. They have a great offense, great running game, great offensive line, great everything except maybe secondary, which I think will sort itself out in the near future. And for that reason, I think they are the best team in the NFL and the number 1 team on my power rankings. So that is it for the video. Again, if you enjoy this type of content, make sure to like and subscribe. Again, we do this very often, I'd say almost daily. Again, we have 3 other hosts, Kian, Charlie, and Dylan. Make sure to watch their videos as well. I want to thank you guys for watching my videos. Comment down below, what are your top 10 power rankings? I'd love to hear that. My response to all the comments. And that's it for the video. Thank you for watching.